the key to this game. What do you got for me? I mean, you are the grinder of tape of all grinders of tape. I'm sure you have looked at everything.
Well, I mean,
you were at the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things. That's kind of what I do all week is kind of dive into the other areas that people aren't talking about. But I mean, if we're talking about the key to this game, to me, it's the trenches. As much as I want to say it's the quarterbacks, because I think we have two great quarterbacks, two guys. I thought Jalen should have been the MVP before he got hurt. I think Patrick will win it now. So I want to talk about them. But I believe this is the most dominant team in the National Football League in both trenches. Not just one side or the other, but defensive line, defensive front, offensive line. I think Philly is the best team that we have in the National Football League.
They eviscerated that trench in Philadelphia against San Francisco. I know so much is being made about, who did Philadelphia beat? Right. I'm here. I said that was going to be the number one troll sports TV storyline coming in, and I'm hearing it more and more. But, Brock Purdy was half of himself when he came back in after Josh Johnson, but they knocked him out.
I know.
Both of them out.
They were in the backfield, over and over again. I break down tape, and, there's times where there's wide open receivers running somewhere, and, we always want to say, just find that wide open guy. But, there's three guys in the quarterback's lap, when he's trying to do that because there's pressure from everywhere.
You were saying Ayuk was open. I was listening to the broadcast on the way home. Ayuk was open on the play that Purdy got knocked out.
Would have been a huge play, maybe even a touchdown on that play. But you got, and it's not just one guy. I think that's the thing that I always look at in these games too is how many different ways can a team beat you? How many different guys can beat you? So the offensive line of the Eagles is great. Sanders is a great running back, but they've got three running backs that I believe can all make big plays for him. Jalen Hurts can make plays. On the defensive side, to have four guys that had 10-plus sacks, four guys, it's unbelievable. So that, to me, is the key to this game is how does Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and this Chiefs team, how do they try to at least just match the production of, the trenches for the Eagles? Chris Jones, he's one guy, and not that they don't have other guys up there, but he's going to have a huge game.
Yeah.
The whole offensive line is going to be, put to task by this defensive front over and over and over again. We all remember the last Super Bowl, and I know they had injuries up front, but the front of Tampa against this Chiefs team dictated that whole game, and so that to me is I don't know what they're going to scheme up. Screen passes, quick passes. Is Patrick able to pull some of his magic when they get quick pressure and avoid that and make big plays? But I truly believe Philadelphia is better in the trenches by a long shot, and that's going to dictate the course of this game.
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show, and Mahomes was compromised in that Super Bowl against that Bucs front seven as well. We're talking about his ankle so much, and Andy Reid said today that it looks like the entire playbook is available to him. Yeah. What's your 2 cents on that subject?
I think the entire playbook was available last time. He's so unique. If you go back and watch the championship game, they're like third play of the game. They rolled him out to his right. To throw a pass. Okay, once you start doing, what's not available if you're willing to roll him out?
Well, maybe the snow globe play where they do a ring around the rosy.
Okay, I'm not sure if Coach Reid drew that one up.
Right.
And there was another time where, Cincinnati got quick pressure in the inside, and Patrick just turned and ran to his left, and then, I think everything was available last week, probably more so this week if there's anything that they were afraid to do. I just think Patrick is special, and he's got the ability to throw without his feet, as well as anybody in the league. And so even if there is some residual issues there, he makes up for it with some of the special stuff that he can do throwing the football. So I feel like 2 weeks off, I don't even think it's going to be a factor unless he re-injures it.
Okay, so then what the Chiefs need, you mentioned Chris Jones. That's what because you're just assuming the offense is going to show up in a certain way to try and counterbalance that front seven. I'm picking up that you like the Eagles in this game, Kurt. I'm not going to lie.
I do like the Eagles right now. Again, Patrick's always that X factor, but less than I think it's about Chris Jones, although, if they could get pressure with Chris and Frank and just those guys up front, I believe it's going to be about Spags and his pressure game, because Jalen's been so good, but the one area that he still struggles with more than any others is when you get quick pressure on him. Mm-hmm. You get free runners, and he's got to make those quick decisions and throw the football. And that's where he struggles. So I think the pressure game of Spags and what they do defensively to try to confuse Jalen Hurts and get after him in the pass game, I think that's going to be a bigger key in this game than just hoping that the front four wins over and over again, because I don't see it happening, because in the championship game, they put Chris Jones out on the defensive end position, and he won that last. You're not putting him out there against Lane Johnson. Like, that's not a matchup that you want. So you're going to keep him inside. But Jason Kelce's so good. I mean, there was one snap from the game last week where, you had Bosa and Armstead on the same side of the field. And you saw Jason Kelce snap the ball, and he literally turned and sprinted in that direction to go, I'm coming over here and helping these guys. Like, I know where their biggest strength is on the defensive line. I am going to make sure that I double team that side. I believe you're going to see him do that every opportunity he gets with Chris Jones if they play him on the inside. So it's going to come down to scheming up opportunities to get Chris Jones one-on-one and hopefully win, or get free hitters on Jalen Hurts and hope that he makes a mistake here or there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.